this podcast. Here we are with Douglas Lutz. He is a national power lifter. He actually is the Iberoamerican champion on the 125 kilograms. He made his record on about 845 kilograms total. So we're going to be conducted this interview and this podcast with him. Douglas, welcome to this podcast. Thank you very much for having us today and being able to conduct this podcast. Um, Maybe you can talk about yourself and how you started into powerlifting, how you became more interested in powerlifting, and then you become professional in this area.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Mariano. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay. So, well, uh, I hope you have a really good day. First, I was actually never planned to be a powerlifter, um, but circumstances in my life, well, just changed me this direction. At first, I was actually started as strongman when I was 21 years old. So I finished in third. I am third strongest man in Costa Rica
Wow.
um, at this day. But obviously, I was too young. I started doing strongman because I have a luxation in my shoulder, so it was awful. I started training. I was studying that time. I was working too. I had my first child, so it was a nightmare. you know, it was it was a really difficult time, but um, with a serious injury, my doctor said, okay, you have two choices. You have to left boxing aside in your life because I was boxing at that time. I boxed since I was 7 years old until 20 years old.
Oh, but this gives
So
me like a question now. How would you
yeah,
combine boxing with strongman? Because the old theory in boxing is that if you do weights, you become slower, and how you combine that, and how you were able to make your boxing coaches understand that being strong is actually helpful for boxing.
well, actually, they always have a really problem with me with training weights, because they told me the same thing. It's like, okay, man, if you are going to do weights, you're going to be slower, you're going to punch harder, but at the same time, you're going to be like a Frankenstein in the ring. So I was like, no, I'm going to be faster, I'm going to be stronger in the ring, and actually, I was stronger, I was faster in the ring. I hit harder, but thanks to my dad, I did weights all my life. I did boxing. That's why I'm telling you that I have a lot of professors in my life in boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, so I did a lot of things in my adolescence, adolescence, but my youth. But um, it was it was a really nice time of my life. Yeah, all of them have a problem with me doing weights. It's the same thing. I'm going to be slower. I just I just managed to do both at the same time, and it was amazing. The professors were like, okay, I don't know where that strength come from, and eventually my professor in boxing told me, okay, keep going. That's what I'm. That's the only thing I have to say. Keep going. That's working for you. It's not working for anyone else because anyone else is doing what you do. So keep doing that. I'm 20 years old. I have a luxation in my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped boxing. Okay, so I told to myself, okay, what is my second love? You know, because my first love, I always told, is boxing, but my second love is strongman and doing weights. I always saw a strongman in ESPN with World's Strongest Man, so it's a child dream. Uh, and I started at 21-ish, okay?
Yeah.
So it was real difficult. The first year, I was awful. It hurts. Well, my body hurt a lot. My shoulder hurt a lot. My second year, I was a better athlete, okay, an amateur. But in my third year, the people told me, like, I don't know how you managed to be in position 20 to third.
Wow.
In 3 years. So it was like, okay, yeah, sure. Then I knew powerlifting because I knew one of my best friends, Danilo Ward. He's the owner of the Bulkor Fitness Gym. And he told me, like, man, you have potential in deadlift. I don't know how you squat. I don't know how much you squat. I don't know how much you bench. My bench was awful. Okay? So I didn't bench. A strongman don't bench. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever. So I did my first competition in only deadlift in 2016 or 2017. And then I knew a Canadian. His name is Sean. He was a powerlifting in Canada. And he was stronger, really strong. He was repping 670 pounds, you know, in the load week. He was talking to me and he told me, like, man, you're strong. You should try powerlifting, you know, because strongmen in Costa Rica, in a time, we're dying. So,
actually, to be honest, I never knew that here in Costa Rica we had strongmen. I never thought that we do that.
Yeah, we did strongman for 4 years.
Yeah, I got you. And at the time that you were in strongman, how would you manage to do the training? Who was training you? What type of concepts they use to get you strong, to get you stronger every time, and that development that you have from 20 to third? How was that thing? How were you training?
So I managed to, you know, have connections in the US and everything, and they show me, and it's cool. Actually, that the name is Starting Strongman. That's all. Okay, so I started studying there. They told me how to program myself, and eventually I got a friend that helped me with a professor, sorry, in Argentina of weightlifting. So he told me, like, okay, let's try to manage strongman, and let's try to do weightlifting a little bit more, you know, so that way you can be explosive and strong.
Yeah,
you know? What we did was try to do squats. Okay, 1 day of squat. The all range 1 day of a week, and a middle range, like a box squat, 1 day of a week. Okay, so a squat twice a week. Okay, because I was doing squats almost every day. Okay, and I have to do deadlift almost every day because everything in strongman is okay, lifted from the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, let's go. Farmers walk, deadlift, axle lifting, log lift. Everything is from the floor. So okay, let's do squats because you need a strong legs.
Yeah.
So okay, let's do it. A lot of shoulders too, but nothing of chest. That's why my bench press was awful. But for example, I didn't have Atlas stone. Okay, so I had to grab a bag, a really big bag, okay, and fill it with concrete.
Oof.
Okay, so I fill it with concrete, and then I weighed it, and it weighed 110 kg.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like 240 pounds. So I lift that bag. It was like it really was big. I don't know if you can see me, but it really was big. I don't know how I managed to grab that thing, but eventually that helped me to grab the Atlas stone and lift them easy, okay, in an easier way than my other competitors. And they told me like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
I need to do the same as you because I don't know. I'm not managed to be at your level. So I was like, okay, if you want, come to my gym, okay, where I train, and let's do a training session. That's all. And when they came with me at the gym, and they saw what the equipment was, it was like, what the fuck? This is not even the same equipment or even close. For example, I didn't have a log, so I grabbed the heaviest dumbbells in the gym and starting to do the same movement as log lift.
Okay.
So that way you can mimic the movement, and you don't need exactly the same equipment that you are going to compete with. Just mimic the movement. That's the way I starting to be stronger. Stronger than my athletes, than my competitors. Obviously, I'm not going to say the same thing for a professional athlete. Okay,
Yeah.
that's another word. But if you're an amateur, you can develop your body and improve your numbers just with mimicking the movement. Okay, and see your body as one. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
because if you see your body like this is one part, this is the other part, this is okay, that doesn't work, not that much. So yeah.
And then, then you do that, and then you move to powerlifting. And how was that transition? And can you talk about the powerlifting environment in Costa Rica and the organization, and whatever, like that?
Yeah, actually, yeah, sure. Well, I was telling that in 2017 and 2016, I was doing my first competition in just deadlift, and the next year, my body told me, "Let's go compete in powerlifting." Okay, let's go. And in the first year, I actually, my first competition, I actually finished second.
Wow.
For 5 kg.
Okay.
And then that at that time there was just one federation, that was the IPF.
Okay.
So everyone compete there, and the organization was, it was okay at the time, but eventually just keep there.
Okay.
You know, it's like, okay, we are the old ones. We are going to stay like here, and nobody is going to bother us.
And at that time, I'm sorry.
Whatever.
And at that time, what type of periodization did they use, or what they taught you to do, like in order of getting better and stronger?
No, at that time I was just training I was training myself.
Okay. Okay.
So I was programming myself. I actually, at this day, I do program myself. Um, but I knew, because that was the first competition. So it was like, okay, let's see if what I'm doing, okay, help me,
Yeah.
or it's enough. But I knew that, well, if you are an athlete, you will know that it's never enough.
Yeah.
You know, so the first time I competed was, okay. I have to make these corrections. Okay, so because at that time I was doing three times a week squat, 2 times a week deadlift,
Mm-hmm.
1 time a week strongman, and 2 times a week bench press.
Okay.
I knew that I was mistaken in some part of, my programming, because I was putting a lot of stress in my body.
And at
I
that
was
time,
young,
at that time, you were studying to be a coach, or were you doing like
Yeah.
empirical?
No, I was studying to be a coach. I have a lot of capacitations studying in international studying, and capacitation in international capacitation, and well, that helped me. And actually, a lot of people don't know, but my shoulder, I recovered thanks to my studies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was studying rehabilitation or rehab of my of shoulders at the time. So, well, I just applied what I was studying, and that helped me a lot. It took 2 years, but now I can movement freely. Yeah, and yeah, I was studying, and I eventually just realized that I cannot have that kind of stress in my body, because I was always exhausted. I was always tired, and I was like, okay, every training is just not for me. There is not the energy there. Every training was a fight, and I was tired of that. So after my first competition, I told myself, okay, let's go. Let's do changes. And I started to talking with a lot of my trainer colleagues, and let's see what I was doing wrong. And at the first time, a lot of people told me like their opinions, and I noticed that everyone there have their different opinion.
Yeah.
So for them, there is an exceptional way to training. Okay, so this is the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
And the other trainer said like, no, this is the correct. There was not like an idea of what was the correct way for powerlifting, not even for strength. So I was like, okay, how I managed to collect this information and just have one concept, okay, of everything. Okay.
Get together. And
so
one question here that comes to my mind is like, if you could go back now with the knowledge
Yep.
that you have, what would you say was the mistakes in terms of periodization, in
Yep.
terms of loading, how you yeah, did you prepare well for the seasons or not, and now that you have this knowledge, can you go back and say, okay, I was mistaken in this, I was putting too much weight in here, and the periodization was bad
Sure.
because of this and that?
But my first mistake was, okay, I put in a lot of stress. Okay, I just said that. So yeah. The second mistake was, uh, I don't know, okay, if the stress I put in my legs is working for everything else,
Okay.
you know? So 3 times squat a week is not for everybody. Not because not because not a lot of people can handle that stress, but because at the time I was just doing it bad, because I was lifting like 80%, 85% every single week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told myself, okay, strength is okay, 80%, 85%, 90%. You know, do that every week, and that's what the books at the time teach you. Okay, so
Yeah, you were lifting like a Bulgarian weightlifter. That
yeah,
they always do it
there,
like
there,
max on every
there
training.
you go. There you go. I was lifting like a Bulgarian lifter. So there was my first mistake. My second mistake was, okay, think that my upper body, yeah, it will develop like my legs, my hamstring, my glute, okay. My,
Like your lower
so
body, yeah.
no,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's like, okay, no, it's not going to happen. They are small muscles, so you have to put more stress in there. Okay. And my third mistake was not having a good periodization, not having just a um, concept or what was a periodization. So when I acknowledged that, I started to train every 3 months, every 2 months. Like, okay, this is the objective this 2 months. Okay, the second month, this is the objective. And if sometimes you accomplish, okay, that, but sometimes you don't. Okay, it's not like your body is a machine. Well, it is a machine, but not it is not a machine that you can just improve night to day.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it is a little bit difficult. You need procedures of adaptations. So that, again, that was my fourth mistake, that I didn't knew that I need time to rest, to adapt. And that's a mistake that a lot of people do these days, because they think that sleep, it's just like, it's not that important.
Mm-hmm.
And it is that important. If you don't sleep, your blood pressure is going to be up. If you don't sleep, your recovery is going to be down. If you don't sleep, you will retain
Liquid.
liquids. Yeah, your digestion is going to be awful. So your mind is going to be just buff awful too. So yeah, if you don't sleep, everything is going to be bad. You can eat well, you can train well, but if you don't sleep, goodbye. Okay. So that was my mistake, because at the time I was sleeping just 4 hours a day.
Okay.
So I was becoming strong because I was young. So that's a beauty. That's a beauty of to be young, because you can be strong, okay, and you don't you don't need to sleep that much, but eventually when you have 27, 30 years old, you will notice a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference.
So and then
Yeah. So
then I'm sorry. Then you
yeah.
become going to powerlifting. There was just one
Yeah.
organization, and then what happened? It was another organization in the picture. How that developed?
I was the first man in 20 years in lifting more than 300 kg in deadlift.
Wow.
So in more than 20 years. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult, but at the same time, you didn't see like how to say it. They really didn't recognize that.
Mm.
Okay, your efforts for competing. So it was like, thanks for competing, goodbye. Okay, when it was 2019, okay, I was competing in the NAPF. I lost second. I competed with Mexico, Canada, US, and Guatemala, if I
Okay.
don't mistake. Okay, there was a lot of strong people there. The first place were a Canadian, and the second place was me. So yeah, at that time in 2020, we managed, Danilo and I, we managed to do or create setup. Okay, in the middle of the pandemic, you know, of the COVID pandemic, yeah, we managed to create setup, and we give a lot of prizes. Sorry, you can say prizes, premios.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we give money, we give a lot of presents. You know, we were really big at the first years, and eventually, and today we are one of the only federations that give money to the athletes and give a lot of other presents, prizes,
Incentives.
other to the athletes. You know, and that didn't happen 5 years ago. Okay, so nowadays the other federations they are trying to compete with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I got you. And
you know,
what would you say is the main philosophy of Costa Rican powerlifting organization?
okay, we do everything for the athletes.
Okay.
So athletes first, the federation second. We give all the money to the athletes. Okay, the prizes, organization. You know, it's not like, okay, we are going to give millions to athletes. No, but you can see the organization, the people, how the athletes are comfortable, the warming stage. You know, everything. Okay, so yeah, it's not just for the prices. It is um, the place.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
And I have like another questions here. Like,
Yeah. Sure.
for example, now that you're a part in the federation, that you are a national coach, let's try to see what's the training philosophy and methodology behind that. Like, for example, I just come to the organization. I'm a 17-year-old boy. I have never lifted weights. And I say, hey, I want to become strong. How would you periodize that desire that I have, like in a 17-year-old boy that's new? What would you do with that boy?
Well, actually, it's not. It's not like just let's fall in the periodization
Yeah,
first. You
yeah.
know, you have to know the body that you are training. So it can be a child of 15 years old or old man of 50. You know, you have to know the body. You have to know what are the weaknesses and the strengths of the boy or a girl. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that way, if you can see the lack of coordination, the lack of strength, the lack of mobility. So yeah, my philosophy is you don't train a body that you don't know. And if you are training the athlete, okay, you will always ask first, how is he feeling? Okay, how is he eating, sleeping, and supplementing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you don't know that four things, you're not going to train that man or that girl.
Yeah.
Okay, because you don't know anything. You are just training a ghost. Okay, if there are not communication with the athlete and the athlete to the coach, it's not going to have it's not going to be a good relation. So that's when the people go away, because they think that they my training does not worry about me. Okay,
Yeah.
they don't care, or he don't care. Okay, and maybe vice versa. Yeah. So that my philosophy again. You don't know a body that you don't. You don't train a body that you don't know. Okay. You have to know the habits of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that you are going to train. Okay. Yeah, and you have to be human. Okay, because they are not robots. You have to ask. You have to communicate. Okay. That way, knowing that 5 things, you can just
Start periodization. Yeah.
do the periodization, and that way you can train the 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 body. Okay, but there is another thing. You have to train the mind too.
Of course.
Okay, how you manage to train the mind of the boy that is 15 years old and have insecurities, have problems in the house, okay, that maybe have I don't know, the high school, or the college, if he's studying the college, so you have to always, okay, be like be more present in the life of that boy, okay? Because if he eventually have a crash out, you will be your life lifesaver. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because they will approach to you and say like, coach, look, I don't feel really good today. I'm crashing out. I'm depressed. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so what are going to sorry, what I'm going to tell that boy is okay. Let's, if you feel comfortable, what you want to be here because you came to the gym for something. Okay, not just for an advice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's train a little light. Okay, let's see how you feeling. Okay, and let's see eventually if you're feeling good, you can lift a little bit more. But that negative emotions will affect their training. Okay, the lifter, they are waiting, they are lifting.
Yeah.
So you can't demand the same the same rendimiento.
Yeah, the same performance.
Yeah, the same performance in a body that, in a mind that it's okay than in a mind that is depressed or having a really bad day, for example. Okay, a real stress day. At the end of the day, stress is stress.
So basically,
Yeah.
you don't use like the same percentage every day for the athlete. It depends on if he slept well, if he ate well, like because sometimes right now that I'm studying, we've seen that sometimes your 80% might be 80 kilos, and you can do like
Yeah.
6 repetitions with that, 7 repetitions, and some other days you can hardly do 8 repetitions with 75 or
That's
72 kilos. So
that's right. Actually, well, I use uh, three ways of handle that. Okay, so yeah, sometimes I use percentage
mm-hmm.
in boys that they can't be trusted with flexibility.
Okay.
Okay, so what that means? Okay, sometimes I put like 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sometimes I put like RPE 8, for example, RPE 7. Okay, you know what is
Yeah,
RPE?
yeah, ready to perceive exertion.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So, but my boy lived more than that. Okay, so I told him like, okay, that's an RP 10. What in your program is RP 8. So what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And they always answer, I was feeling okay. I was feeling strong. Or the worst scenario is, coach, I injured myself. I failed. You know. So it's like, okay, what what was in your program? Okay. Oh, RP6. Come on, man. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I have to go uh, through a change with them, and like it's not a punishment; it's just a correction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try percentage because you are not a boy or a girl that uh, know your body.
Okay.
Okay, I think RPE or REAR uh, is a methodology that um, will help an athlete that knows his body.
So you think it would be more
Okay.
useful for intermediate, advanced athletes, not for the beginners, because they don't. Basically, beginners don't know that much their body. It's more useful
Yes and
for advanced
yes and
athletes.
no.
Oh,
Yes and no. But I think it's more useful for advanced athletes. Yeah. Why? Because they know what can they lift.
yeah,
Okay. So it's going to be easier for them, and the professional athletes, they have the the their life habits really marked. They don't just get out of their habits, because they know if they don't sleep well or eat well or train well, they will lose uh, kilos in the bar.
yeah.
So for an amateur, for a kid that is beginning, okay, you don't know what's their PR, so it's going to be hard to use percentage. So at the first you will use RPE. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, let's do let's try an example. Okay, for example, if you have a kid that is 15 years old that never lifted in his life, how you manage to do a 50% of his PR? You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's let's try to be more with him, and let's try to know what his body can do. That way, okay, and teaching the boy, okay, how you are feeling, how you're feeling this weight, what is happening in your body. Okay, I see that your ankles, they are not as good as you told me. The lack of mobility, um, your hips are lacking too. So let's try to, okay, uh, try to fix that, and then we go to a straight way, to lifting weights.
Okay.
But again, you have to use at the first RP, and then if you want to correct, okay, the the boy, because they are failing to know what his body can do, okay, or maybe to just lose their pride, because sometimes it's a problem of pride, because the boys is like, okay, I know I can do it, and maybe you can't. Okay,
Yeah.
you are getting out of the program, so okay, let's put in
Address that.
percentage.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want to ask, like, of course, you would know that the different type of of weightlifting schools, like the Russian. We already talked about the Russian, the Bulgarian, and Louis
Yeah.
Simmons and West Side Barbell.
Yeah.
And how knowing all of them, what would you consider like good of the Russian periodization or programming? What would you consider like good? I mean, good and bad of the Bulgarian, good and bad of West Side Barbell, and at the end, how you combine all of them into your own type of training. Because of what I've what I've heard during the whole podcast is that you basically grab things from here there, and then you develop your own way of training. So let's start,
Yeah.
like, on the Russians. What is the good and what is the bad for you?
Okay. Well, from the Russians, they are actually. I don't think they are bad at all. You know, a lot of my periodization, they are like they are they come from the Russians. Okay, it come from the Russians. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, in the gym, they told me, "Oh, Lutz, the Russian." It's like, no, I'm German. Okay, no, but you use Russian periodization. Yeah, sure. I use U.S. periodization too, but yeah, but more like Russian. Yeah, sure, whatever. Um, but at the same time, I try to use a lot of methodologies, because I read a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I read actually Pavel knew a lot of world champions at the time. They were champions in the Soviet Union, you know, and in the Europe, powerlifting and weightlifting um, federation at the time, because they, I don't know what they were, but apparently there were a lot of people lifting for more than 400 kg in squat and deadlift in the early 80s, you know. So that, again, that's what a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to grab a lot of things of a lot of methodologies, uh, the one that I don't grab, okay, because of my experience,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because uh, it's extremely um, dangerous for the athlete is the Bulgarian, okay. Why? Because it uh, it make you to do a heavy lift, a max, almost a day PR every single day to see, okay, what kind of training you can do, okay, what percentage we will do this day. Is like, okay, you will injure yourself at the time if you continue with that. Okay, the theory tells that for amateurs and people that is starting, it will help. Okay, at the beginning, because obviously you are young, you're starting, your body will adapt quickly. Okay, but once you get to or reach a point, you will find that you will not advance anymore. Okay, so you are fighting to maintain the lift that you reach. Okay, you have. Okay, training your ass off every day. Okay, not going down one day at a week or 2 days at a week. You know, that's why I think a Russian style is sometimes better, but the American school, the Texas school, I think that if you do a good periodization with them, you will be stronger than any Russian that is living today. Why? Because Texans, I don't know, the Texan methodology is, well, I think there is more. Okay, the Russian, they use engineers, okay, to do their methodology. So it was awesome, but the Texans sometimes, I think that they improve that. Okay. At the same time,
And to be
with
honest,
that,
to be honest, I haven't read about the Texan methodology, and I wanted
oh
to
yeah, you
ask
can.
what is the difference between the Russians, and what is the difference between them and West Side Barbell?
Okay. Actually, you can find Texas Strength. You can find a book. Um, or Texas Powerlifting too.
Okay.
So yeah, but the volume and the intensity.
Okay.
That's all. The difference between, for example, Westside Barbell is that Louis Simmons, he went to Russia, to the Soviet Union at the time, and he studied the Russian style, blah 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 blah, and he knew that okay, you can't. He had a really crazy idea that the body disadapt. Okay, at the end of the periodization, the Russian periodization. But I think he had a misconception because he didn't see the supercompensation.
Yeah.
Okay, he think that that downs the lack of stress. Okay, will give you a disadaptation.
Okay.
So he told himself, okay, if I want to, and I think here's where he fall in the mistake. If I want to maintain my athlete in this place and trying to, reach a higher point, I have to make a regression of the lifting, okay, heavier in the load week, okay, or try to have a PR in a regression of the movement. For example, if you deadlift 3 weeks a day, he thought, okay, the fourth week you will have a blood pull and you will do it for a max. Okay? So Russian, they don't think that. They actually sometimes reading Boris Sheiko in a comment he did, he told, I don't know where Louis Simmons, have that idea because we don't know that, we don't teach that. So or anything like that.
Yeah.
So the Louis Simmons, it was not mistake at what the body could do, but you have to know that a lot of his champions do a lot of roids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, sure, you will develop a superhuman strength, okay, with that methodology, but that doesn't mean that a natural body or just a body will manage that stress, because you need to you need to deload your body, you need to deload that stress, you need to rest. Okay, that's why a lot of his champions they finish injured,
Yeah.
with serious injuries, So there is where I think he mistakes. That's why, for example, Dave Tate, Ed Cohn, uh, Luis, Matt Wenning,
And winning.
and Mark Ripto, for example, they changed their methodology because they knew that, okay, I think Louis Simmons is mistaken in this point. Okay, there is a lot of things that Louis Simmons it's extremely right. Okay, for example, of rehab of the back, and the thing that he said is the body is capable of recovering every single thing that you did to it. So yeah, he's right about that. But his methodology, it was not human friendly.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Okay. Yeah, it was like animal friendly. It's like, okay, man, if you have the strength of a horse, let's do it. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I think. The West Side and the Russian, is different, because the Russian is like, okay, let's just go up a little by little, okay, every week, and then let's see what is your body telling you, okay. If you can do that, okay, we can reach that point. But even that, there is an undulation, okay, in the stress that they manage, and that's what a lot of methodologies in US at the time they didn't knew, okay, that your body can get stronger even if there is no um, um, a progressive overload, okay. So there is where Texans come, okay, because they now don't need to be as heavy, okay, as the West Side Barbell thought.
Okay.
So, for example, the Texans they don't use deadlift all the time, okay. But they don't make the mistake that Louis Simmons were teaching at the time, that because he saw that doing deadlift were there was not necessary. Okay, you can teach your body. That's what he think. You can teach your body how to do deadlift without deadlift, and that's not true.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
got you.
he put his athletes to do box squats and everything. The Texans know that obviously that is not correct. Okay, that is not right. So they managed to do a lot of block pulls every single other day. Okay, and at the end of the periodization, okay, let's do heavy deadlift. Let's see how you manage to do it. And they concentrate in the technique. Okay, it's actually, I don't know, but I think Blaine Summer comes from that from that school.
Okay.
You don't know who is Blaine Sommer?
No, no.
Oh, Blaine Sommer is powerlifting that he lived. He lived more than 500 kg in squat equipped powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Equipped powerlifting, yeah. And he managed to lift more than 450 kg in bench press in equipped powerlifting.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a real strong guy. So his deadlift was not that strong, but in equipped powerlifting, if you manage to have a really big squat, it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. You win. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, there is a lot of methods right now that they are sons of Russian style. Okay. At the end of the day, you can see those methodologies, and if you go back, you can see a combination of a lot. Okay. But every day you will see less of West Side and Bulgarian every day, because the world is it's going through an evolution of the sport. You know, I always thought that West Side it's good for quick powerlifting. Okay, because now because at the time they use a lot of progression of the movement, and if you see the squat, it was not that deep, for example, at the time. So you have only to train, for example, box squats or just a middle range squat. Okay, not now that you need to ask to grasp the squat.
Gotcha.
Okay? So yeah. you have to do a lot of progression of the movement in a raw powerlifting to become stronger, to adapt the body to, to not get injured, to, the periodization is more complex than 30 years ago.
Yeah, of course. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So, sadly, we have to come to an end to this podcast.
Sorry.
I really appreciate everything you said, because actually this is one of the reasons I'm in this master's program, because I've seen that in Costa Rica there's a lot of talent, but there's lack of sometimes education and lack of something systematic. Like you don't have a systematic school for coaches, for strength and conditioning coaches, and develop all these things. So I start studying this because I'm a doctor actually. I'm a medicine doctor, and then I come into sports science and everything. So I'm trying to start or open a path for the next generations into a more structured way of training to produce better athletes in Costa Rica, because it's a shame that we don't have no gold medals in Costa Rica for just swimming, and that's only one gold medal that we have, and so for sometimes for me it's like I feel sad because of that. So I started this journey in order to get more athletes and coaches into a path that maybe in the future can lead to Costa Rica to be better in the Olympics and different championships. So being part of this, I really appreciate again, and really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, you have to do things, and thank you very much